There's a certain allure to the untouched, a magnetic pull towards places where nature reigns supreme, where the hand of man has barely left a trace. We yearn for escape, for the chance to reconnect with something primal, something bigger than ourselves. And few places on earth embody that allure quite like the Daintree rainforest. Imagine, if you will, a swath of emerald green, so dense and vibrant it seems to pulse with life. An ancient ecosystem, a living museum where the echoes of millennia whisper through the leaves. This is the Daintree, a UNESCO World Heritage Site nestled along the northeast coast of Queensland, Australia. It's the largest continuous area of tropical rainforest in Australia, a biodiversity hotspot teeming with creatures both beautiful and, as we'll soon discover, deadly. The Daintree isn't just a forest, it's a sensory experience. The air hangs, heavy with humidity, thick with the scent of damp earth, decaying leaves, and the sweet perfume of exotic blossoms. Sunlight filters through the canopy in dappled patterns, illuminating a world of towering trees draped with vines, ferns clinging to every surface, and a symphony of sounds, the rustle of leaves, the chirp of insects, the calls of unseen birds. The Daintree River, a dark, serpentine ribbon winding its way through the heart of the forest, adds another layer of mystique. Its murky waters hold secrets, ancient stories etched in the muddy banks and the silent depths. Estuarine crocodiles patrol these waters, the apex predators of this domain. For many, the Daintree represents paradise, a sanctuary, a place to lose oneself in the beauty of nature, to hike among giants, to swim in crystal clear streams, to feel the embrace of the rainforest. But paradise, as we often forget, can be a dangerous illusion. Beneath the surface of idyllic beauty lies a raw, untamed power, a reminder that we are merely visitors in this world, not its masters. Now, let's focus on Dianna Lawton. At 46 years old, she was a woman who embodied the Australian spirit, adventurous, independent, and deeply connected to the natural world. Described by those who knew her as vibrant and full of life, Dianna possessed a warmth that drew people in, a genuine kindness that made her a cherished friend and a dedicated professional. Her work as an aged care nurse wasn't just a job, it was a calling. She dedicated herself to providing comfort and care to the elderly, offering not only medical assistance, but also companionship and emotional support. She had a knack for connecting with people, for making them feel seen and heard, a rare and precious gift. Dianna's connection to the outdoors was equally profound. She found solace and joy in nature, whether it was hiking through the bush, exploring the coastline, or simply relaxing by the water. She understood the power of nature to heal and inspire, and she sought out those experiences whenever she could. She lived in Port Douglas, a town about an hour south of where tragedy struck. Port Douglas is a popular tourist spot, with luxurious resorts and high-end shopping. It's a world away from the ruggedness of the Daintree, but it offered Dianna a comfortable life near the wilderness she loved. Enter Karen Hitchcock. More than just a friend, Karen was Dianna's confidant, her rock, the sister she never had. Their bond was forged over years of shared experiences, laughter, and unwavering support. They celebrated each other's triumphs, offered comfort during difficult times, and found joy in simply being together. Their friendship was a testament to the power of human connection, a reminder that we are stronger together than we are apart. And so, we arrive at that fateful weekend in January 2017. Dianna and Karen, seeking respite from the everyday, ventured north to the Daintree. They had planned a weekend of relaxation and celebration, a chance to soak in the beauty of this tropical paradise and create lasting memories. They spent the day exploring the region, marveling at the ancient rainforest, strolling along pristine beaches, and enjoying each other's company. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the landscape, they found themselves at Thornton Beach. Thornton Beach is a picturesque stretch of sand, fringed by palm trees and lapped by the turquoise waters of the Coral Sea. It's a place where the rainforest meets the ocean, creating a breathtaking vista. On that particular evening, the moon was nearly full, casting a silvery light over the scene, creating an almost ethereal atmosphere. The air was warm and humid, carrying the scent of salt and the faint perfume of night-blooming flowers. But Thornton Beach, for all its beauty, holds a dark secret. It's a known habitat for saltwater crocodiles, apex predators that lurk beneath the surface of the seemingly tranquil waters. These ancient reptiles are masters of stealth, perfectly adapted to ambushing their prey. And while they typically avoid human contact, they are powerful and dangerous when threatened or when opportunity presents itself. The signs are clear. Big, bold warnings, strategically placed to ensure everyone understands the risks. Beware. Crocodiles, they proclaim, swimming not recommended. Yet, on that balmy evening, bathed in moonlight and lulled by the gentle rhythm of the waves, the warnings seemed distant, almost abstract. The allure of the water, the temptation to cool off after a day in the tropical heat, proved too strong to resist. It was a decision, a seemingly innocent act, that would tragically alter the course of Dianna Lawton's life forever. The stage was set. A tropical paradise, a warm summer evening, to friends seeking relaxation, and a hidden predator lurking in the shadows. Little did they know that this idyllic setting would soon become the backdrop for a nightmare. A chilling tale of nature's raw power and the devastating consequences of a single, fatal misjudgment. The allure of a tropical paradise is undeniable. Warm breezes, swaying palms, and the siren call of the ocean beckon us to relax, unwind, and perhaps even shed our inhibitions. But it's crucial to remember that these idyllic settings often harbor hidden dangers, ancient predators that operate by a different set of rules. Rules we often forget, or worse, ignore. And that's precisely where the tragedy of Dianna Lawton begins, with a fatal misjudgment. A series of decisions that, in hindsight, seem almost incomprehensible, given the ever-present warnings that saturated the Daintree region. We're not talking about a single, fleeting moment of carelessness. This was a compounding of factors. A perfect storm of complacency and disregard for the inherent risks of venturing into known crocodile territory after dark. Let's rewind to that fateful evening. The celebration was in full swing. The air was thick with the scent of tropical flowers and the salty temps of the ocean. Alcohol may have been involved, clouding judgment, fostering a sense of invincibility that often accompanies moments of carefree joy. The warm night air, the gentle lapping of the waves, it all contributed to a potent cocktail of relaxation, a feeling that danger was a distant, abstract concept, not a very real and immediate threat lurking just beneath the surface. Now, picture Thornton Beach. The moon cast a silvery glow across the sand, painting the scene with an ethereal beauty. The water, deceptively calm and inviting, shimmered under the moonlight. The temperature was perfect, almost irresistible. But let's not forget what was also present, what should have been at the forefront of their minds. the signs. Those stark, unmistakable signs depicting the silhouette of a crocodile, emblazoned with warnings in multiple languages. Beware crocodiles. Crocodile habitat. Swimming not recommended. These weren't subtle suggestions. They were urgent advisories, blunt and unambiguous, designed to prevent precisely the kind of tragedy that unfolded, and yet they were ignored. Perhaps the signs had become so commonplace, so ingrained in the landscape, that they had simply faded into the background, losing their impact. Perhaps there was a sense of, it won't happen to us, a dangerous sense of invulnerability that often leads to disastrous consequences. Whatever the reason, the decision was made to enter the water. Imagine the feeling as they waded in. The initial coolness, a welcome respite from the humid night. The water lapping at their ankles, then their knees, then rising to their waists. Each step deeper was a step closer to the danger zone. A gamble with their lives that they were unknowingly losing with every passing second. They were perhaps only 10 or 15 meters from the shore, a relatively short distance, but in the realm of a saltwater crocodile, that distance was negligible. It was well within striking range. We need to understand the stealth and cunning of these apex predators. They are masters of ambush, spending hours, even days, submerged in the murky depths, patiently waiting for an opportunity. Their eyes and nostrils, barely visible above the waterline, are all that betray their presence. They are perfectly camouflaged, blending seamlessly with the surrounding environment, and they are incredibly sensitive to vibrations in the water, able to detect the slightest movement, the faintest disturbance. So Dianna and Karen stood there, waist deep in the water, lost in conversation, perhaps laughing and joking. The crocodile was undoubtedly watching them. An ancient, cold-blooded hunter, its senses finely tuned, patiently calculating its approach. It would have moved slowly, deliberately, its powerful tail propelling it silently through the water, creating barely a ripple. The attack wasn't a spontaneous act of aggression. It was a calculated maneuver, the culmination of countless hours of patience and instinct. And then, in a flash, the tranquility shattered. The water exploded with violence. Not a gentle splash, but a furious eruption, a tearing of the surface as the crocodile launched itself from the depths. It was a scene of unimaginable horror, a nightmare made real. There was no graceful glide, no majestic leap, only raw power, brute force, and terrifying speed. Dianna had no chance. No time to react, no time to scream, no time to even comprehend the danger that had suddenly materialized. Before her, the crocodile's jaws, a monstrous trap of bone and muscle, clamped down with unimaginable force. A force capable of crushing bone, tearing flesh, and inflicting instant, devastating trauma. The initial impact was sickening. A horrific crunch that resonated through the water and sent a chilling wave of terror through Karen. Standing just inches away, she was thrown off balance by the sheer force of the attack. Disoriented and panicked, her instincts kicked in. She reached out, desperately grabbing for Dianna, clinging to her friend with all her might. Her fingers found purchase, clutching at her clothing, her mind screaming for her to pull Dianna back, to drag her away from the nightmare that had gripped her. But the crocodile was an unstoppable force. It began to pull, its immense power relentlessly, dragging Dianna deeper into the water. Karen held on with every ounce of strength she possessed, her muscles straining, her feet slipping in the sandy bottom. The crocodile thrashed violently, initiating its signature death roll, a powerful twisting motion designed to disorient and dismember its prey. Karen felt a searing pain as the crocodile's teeth grazed her arm, a quick, brutal bite that tore at her flesh. But she barely registered it amidst the overwhelming terror. She wouldn't let go. She couldn't let go. Not yet. The struggle was brief, but brutal. A desperate fight for survival against an ancient predator at the peak of its power. But the odds were insurmountable. The crocodile was too strong, too fast, too perfectly adapted to this environment. And the sea, once a symbol of tranquility, had become a scene of unimaginable horror. Karen's desperate struggle against a force far greater than herself. That fleeting moment of hope turned to utter despair as her grip failed. It's a scene that replays endlessly in her mind, a brutal loop of horror. We can only imagine the sheer terror, the primal instinct to protect. The agonizing helplessness as she watched her friend disappear into the inky blackness. The bite marks Karen sustained weren't just physical wounds. They were deep, jagged scars etched onto her soul, a constant reminder of the monstrous reality she had faced. The adrenaline that had fueled her initial struggle quickly gave way to shock, a numbing coldness that seeped into her bones. Imagine stumbling back onto that beach, the silence broken only by the relentless crash of the waves. The same waves that just moments ago had held laughter and friendship now seemed to mock her with their indifferent rhythm. The moon, once a source of gentle illumination, now cast long, distorted shadows that danced with her fear. The immediate aftermath was a blur of flashing lights, frantic voices, and sterile medical procedures. But none of it could penetrate the fog of trauma that enveloped her. How do you explain the unexplainable? How do you articulate the feeling of having your world ripped apart in an instant? The search operation that followed was a race against time, a desperate attempt to recover Dianna, to bring some semblance of closure to this horrific event. But deep down, everyone knew the truth. The Daintree, in all its breathtaking beauty, had claimed another victim. The next few days were a nightmare of media attention, police interviews, and coroner's inquiries. Karen found herself thrust into the spotlight, a reluctant figurehead. For a tragedy that had captured the world's attention, every question, every photograph, every news report was a fresh wound, a reminder of what she had lost and what she had witnessed. The discovery of Dianna's remains inside the captured crocodile brought a grim finality to the situation. It was the confirmation that everyone had dreaded, the point of no return. The community reeled, grappling with the shock and grief of losing a beloved member. Dianna Lawton wasn't just a name. She was a vital part of the Daintree community. She was the friendly face at the local aged care facility, the woman who always had a kind word and a helping hand. She was a daughter, a sister, a friend, a colleague. Her loss left a gaping hole in the fabric of the town, a void that could never truly be filled. The funeral was a somber affair, a gathering of heartbroken friends, family, and community members. Tears flowed freely as stories were shared, memories were cherished, and tributes were paid to a life cut short. The air was thick with grief, a palpable sense of loss that hung heavy over the proceedings. The event prompted intense conversations about crocodile management in the region. Should more crocodiles be culled? Should swimming be banned altogether? What measures could be taken to prevent future tragedies? These questions were debated fiercely, with no easy answers in sight. Wildlife experts and conservationists argued that crocodiles were an integral part of the Daintree ecosystem and that culling was not a sustainable solution. They emphasize the importance of education, awareness, and personal responsibility. Local authorities reviewed safety protocols, signage, and public awareness campaigns. They reinforced the message that the Daintree, for all its beauty, was a wild and dangerous place, and that visitors needed to exercise extreme caution. The community rallied around Karen, offering her support and understanding. They recognized the profound trauma she had endured and the long road to recovery that lay ahead. Counseling services were made available, and friends and family provided a constant source of comfort and companionship. But even with the best support system, Karen faced a daunting challenge. The images of that night, the sound of the crocodiles' jaws, the feeling of Dianna slipping from her grasp, these were memories that would forever haunt her. Sleep became a battleground, plagued by nightmares and flashbacks. Everyday activities triggered anxiety and fear. The ocean, once a source of solace, now represented a terrifying threat. The road to recovery was long and arduous, marked by setbacks and small victories. But Karen's resilience shone through. She found strength in her memories of Dianna, in the love and support of her community, and in her determination to heal. The story of Dianna Lawton serves as a stark reminder of the power and unpredictability of nature. It is a tragedy that underscores the importance of respecting wildlife, heeding warnings, and exercising caution in hazardous environments. But it is also a story about the resilience of the human spirit, the enduring bonds of friendship, and the power of community to heal and support in the face of unimaginable loss. The Daintree may have claimed Dianna's life, but it could not extinguish her memory or diminish the impact she had on those who knew and loved her. Her legacy lives on in the hearts of those who remember her kind spirit, her unwavering compassion, and her dedication to making the world a better place. And for Karen, the journey continues, a testament to the enduring power of love and the unwavering hope that even in the darkest of times, healing is possible. Though the scars may never fully fade, they serve as a reminder of the strength she found within herself and the enduring bond she shared with a friend who will never be forgotten.